In 18 months, I went from having been single for 10 years to now being engaged to a super masculine man who treats me like a queen. I went from being successful but very stressed and very exhausted and very burned out to now having businesses that run a lot more on autopilot and bring abundance more easily, and I am more fully supported. And from continuously squashing my dreams and kicking the can down the road about living in other countries to now spending most of my time in Mexico and traveling often. And the way that I was able to accomplish all of these things so quickly was through emotional mastery. And that is exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Hi, my name is Amanda Abeo. Welcome to Mindful Success Path. On this channel, we talk about neuroscience, psychology, emotional mastery, and we also talk a lot about universal laws and spirituality like the law of assumption. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because the goal of this channel is to help you achieve the results that you want a lot faster without all the extra stress and drama that us humans tend to like to insert into our lives. And if you would like to take what I'm going to be talking about in this video a step forward, I actually put a free manifestation guide together for you. In it, I describe the 4-step process I use to completely rewire my brain to get the results that I mentioned, like going from single to engaged, from broke and burned out to inspired on purpose, and having businesses that run a lot more on autopilot than they used to, and also going from putting my dreams on the back burner to now living in other countries and traveling often. So you can download that completely for free below. So let's get into emotional mastery and why this matters so much. So emotional mastery is not emotional control. I'm not talking about control here. And the reason why I say this is because I spent 15 years trying to control my emotions. And essentially all that got me was hitting a wall, eventually burning out, because I wasn't actually dealing with my stuff. Granted, I didn't know that some of that stuff was there. But when it did finally come out, I realized that I didn't actually have emotional mastery over my life. I had a lot of emotional control. And what that looked like was, okay, well, if I'm having a bad situation in the business, or we're having a family health crisis, or life is just lifing, which is what led to my massive burnout a few years ago, then essentially what I would do is I would try and control my emotions, and I would try and control my emotions by stuffing them down and not feeling them, and probably going to go work just so that I wouldn't feel them. Now that's very different than what I do now, which is, okay, I acknowledge, okay, maybe I got some bad news or I got triggered by something. Okay, let me feel that and let me alchemize that, and then I have energy to go do whatever it is that I want to do, like this YouTube channel and these videos. So I don't want you to confuse emotional control with emotional mastery, because a lot of people walk around controlling their emotions and they're like one bad email away from a nervous breakdown, because they're like, control, 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 everything's great. The way that that looks like is, I always think about a corporate person, right? That they're trained into emotional control, not emotional mastery. And what I mean by that is literally the building could be on fire and somebody's going to be like, everything's great, everything's fine, like that dog meme, right? That's emotional control. Not what we're going for. We're going for emotional mastery. Now, in order to fully understand emotional mastery, we have to understand the opposite end of the spectrum of emotional control, because we've all been here too. And the opposite end of that is when your emotions are just spewing all over the place and you're very reactive to what is going on around you. And quite frankly, I would say that this is where most people are. I wouldn't even think that most people are trying to control their emotions or living in a space of emotional control, unless they're a controlling person and they're hyper vigilant like I was. And a lot of women are living in that space, quite frankly. But I would venture to say that most people, like the biggest bucket of people, is actually in emotional chaos and reactivity. And the reason why I say that is because all you need to do is go on social media and you see it all the time in the comments, how reactive people are and how they get baited so easily and they get triggered so easily. So I would venture to say most people are in that camp. And what that camp looks like is you get triggered and you react. Something happens and you react. It's very reactionary. And the thing is that most people, like those who are experiencing emotional control, all that they're trying to do is counterbalance the emotional chaos because they don't want to feel their emotions. And then when you're on the emotional chaos side of things, you don't have any idea how to master your emotions, and it's probably causing a lot of chaos in your life. And let's be real, a lot of people are basically addicted and conditioned into chaos. So that looks like, you're watching a YouTube video and you get triggered and then suddenly you're like a keyboard warrior in the comments. Or that looks like maybe you get an email with some bad news and okay, it's bad news, but like your reactions are like overboard for the situation at hand. Like you could have gotten an email that actually was quite innocent and quite simple and asked you a question, but your brain is going into, these people don't respect me, they don't trust me, how dare they, blah, 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 blah. They want to cancel, they want to do this, they want to do that, So that is not having control over not having emotional mastery, but instead letting your emotions dictate everything. And I see this in business a lot too, right? Especially in women's spaces. So in men's spaces, I see a lot of emotional control, right? Some women do it too. Women who are more masculine tend to fall into the emotional control. Everything's great. Everything's fine. Nothing to see here. Everything's fine. And you're like trying to hold it together. And then the other portion that I see more of in women's spaces is women who just vomit all their emotions on everybody else, or say things like, I'm just not feeling inspired today, so I'm just not going to do anything, right? That's another way in which it shows up. And they think they have emotional mastery, but they don't, because they're letting their emotions of, I'm not feeling that well today, or I got some bad news, or I got triggered by something, usually is the case, and I'm going to let that derail me for the entire day, and I'm just going to be spewing on everybody that I talk to today, and I'm going to be a friggin' hurricane with my emotions. So now that we've determined what emotional mastery is not, let's talk about what emotional mastery actually is. So when it comes to emotional mastery, you have to feel your feelings. And you have to feel your feelings in a specific container. And then you have to let those feelings pass through you. Usually it's over in about 90 seconds, unless it's like really intense stuff, like maybe you're going through grief or something like that, and that's going to take longer, obviously. But normally you let yourself feel your feelings and then you alchemize the feelings. So rather than being in control where you're not feeling anything, or being in chaos where you just let it dictate your choices for the whole day and throw you off and create a bunch of drama in your life, we're really just trying to find that middle way where we're still feeling our emotions, but we're not letting it derail us. We're not letting it affect us more than it needs to. We're not allowing it to be reactive. How do we do that? Okay, so number one is meditation. This is my toolbox that I'm giving you guys. Number one is meditation. If I don't meditate in the morning, I've noticed that number one, my life does not flow as easily. And number two, I'm far more reactive to situations. So that's why I have to meditate every day. I have to meditate in the morning, and I'll do meditations while I'm going to sleep or right before going to sleep. So it may not seem like a lot because it feels like, maybe you're just like sitting there breathing, right? And the thoughts are still happening. It's not like your brain shuts off or you stop thinking. You never stop thinking, not even while you're sleeping. Do you stop thinking? But what it allows you to do is that it allows you to practice not getting attached to thoughts. And it puts you in the position where you are more of the observer, and you start to realize that you are not your thoughts and you are not your emotions. Now, you're not going to be perfect. Sometimes I meditate in the morning and literally an hour later, I'm already out of alignment. I have forgotten all of this, right? So if that happens to you, don't feel bad. In that case, the thing that you're looking for is your comeback rate, as Gabby Bernstein says, how you come back into alignment and how quickly. But meditation helps because you start to realize that you are not your thoughts and your emotions and that you're actually separate from them, and you start becoming the observer in that moment while you're meditating. As you go out throughout your day and life starts to life and human beings are human beings, and let's say, you get some bad news in an email, which sometimes happens in business, then rather than flying off the handle, which is what humans tend to do, they tend to overreact and fly off the handle, or going into trying to control the situation, you'll start to notice, especially with more time meditating, that you have a little bit of a pause between the information you just got and your reaction. And that pause starts to happen kind of naturally, and that pause is everything. Because if you could just have a 30-second pause where you're like, before you fly off the handle and react, that can make all the difference between emotional mastery and emotional chaos or emotional control. Because again, you're training yourself to realize that you are not your thoughts and emotions. And I'll take it a step further, you are also not the circumstances going on around you. So that's number one, is meditation. Game changer. Number two is reversing your limiting beliefs. So a lot of times our emotions, our triggers, all those things are being caused by certain thoughts, and then those thoughts are rooted in a belief. And what happens, right, is if you're in emotional control, you're trying not to feel the emotions. And if you're in emotional chaos, you're feeling the emotions way too much, right? So what we're trying to do, again, is get to the middle. So if we know that our emotions are being caused by certain thoughts and those thoughts are being caused by beliefs, then that would dictate, hey, let's work on some of these beliefs. And this is called the cybernetics talks about this a lot, but it's also basic human psychology in terms of how human beings behave to things and why they behave to things the way that they do. So let's say that you get triggered by something throughout the day. Maybe you see a YouTube video and that keyboard warrior is about to come out full force. Or you get your spouse says something and you get triggered and you're about to send them to hell. you're about to go low. Something like that happens. Rather than lashing out in that moment, again, become the observer, which meditation allows you to do a lot more easily and more naturally, and think, okay, I'm starting to feel this way right now. That's really interesting. I'm feeling this. I'm having this reaction. That's really interesting. Okay, what am I thinking? Okay, well, I'm thinking that my spouse is an asshole because they just said this thing, or they didn't take out the trash, or they didn't do what I told them to do, or they left their socks on the floor, whatever triggers you. Now I'm thinking they're an asshole, and I'm thinking they don't love me, and now I'm thinking I'm not good enough. So then the limiting belief would be, I'm not good enough, or I'm not lovable, because that's what's causing the thoughts that are then causing the emotional reaction to whatever the trigger is, the trigger being something as simple as, maybe your spouse misunderstood you, right? Happens all the time. Or maybe you forgot to tell your spouse the thing that you think you told them, and maybe you didn't actually tell them. Stuff happens all the time. So when we start switching the belief, changing the beliefs that are causing these emotional reactive reactions, then you start having a lot more emotional mastery. And the third thing, and this is something that I've been teaching for a very long time as a sales trainer, one of the interesting things that happens when you are in sales, and I actually think sales is actually quite an interesting spiritual path as a profession, because you're dealing with humans all the time, and you're dealing with humans' reactions and their behaviors and their lack of trust in themselves, or you build trust with them and then they start telling you everything. So you're actually in quite a, I would say, very spiritual position if you are in sales or in any profession where you're dealing with a lot of people on a daily basis. I think you're in a very interesting spiritual profession that will help you on your spiritual path a lot faster. And again, because you're dealing with a lot of people, I think sales is one of them. So sometimes what people really struggle with in sales, especially when they start learning sales, is how human beings do not act in rational ways most of the time. Especially when it comes to making decisions. They definitely don't react in logical ways, or how human beings really run their lives with a lot of logical fallacies. So you learn a lot of psychology when you learn sales, and you learn a lot about human behavior. Number one, if you've been trained very well in sales, but number two, also just by observation. you will start to notice and be like, man, human beings do act kind of weird. That doesn't make any sense at all. So what happens sometimes in sales, when I've been training people on sales for a long time, and they start having more conversations and they start to realize that no, human beings actually are not that logical when it comes to making decisions. Now, in sales, you help them make a logical decision, but the knee-jerk reaction from the prospect is not usually logical, it's usually emotional. But you help them make a logical decision if you're a good salesperson, but the immediate reactions are not logical. Sometimes the decisions that they end up making are definitely not logical. Or if you're in a coaching space, or I've even heard this from lawyers and doctors and things like that, where, you know, they'll tell people what to do and that they don't do it and they sabotage over and over and over again, or they lie to their lawyer or they lie to their doctor, and the lawyer and the doctors, they're like, why would you do that? Why would you lie to your lawyer? Like, you would think your lawyer's the one person you don't want to lie to, but they lie to lawyers all the time. And then they're like scratching their heads wondering what on earth is going on. But when you're in those industries long enough, those types of human behaviors just don't bother you that much anymore because you've been exposed to it so much. And you start to kind of separate yourself, not in a I'm better than these people kind of way, just in a healthy, energetic boundary kind of way. You start having energetic boundaries around these things. You stop taking things so personally when you realize that people just behave in strange ways, and you start noticing the patterns of how they do that. And then in addition to that, you have a lot more compassion for people, right? So if I get an email from somebody that, you know, they're obviously stuck in their head, I used to fly off the handle and I'd be like, oh my God, you know, they think I'm a terrible coach or I'm a terrible trainer or blah, blah, blah. And they're just trying to F with me and blah, 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 blah. And that's where a lot of people go. Now, after doing a lot more emotional mastery work, I say to myself, okay, well, before you decide you're irate, make sure that you have all the data and all the stats before you decide that you're going to fly off the handle. And I do that. And when I do that, I start to remember, oh, they're just a human being. They're just scared. They're just going through these emotions that are actually completely normal. And then I actually have compassion. And in some cases, I feel bad for people because I see just how stuck they are in their own mindset and in their own thinking, which is one of the reasons this channel came to be, so I could teach people how to use their brains. So that tends to happen, right? Where you are in a position, so when you're in those positions and you start learning these things and you start noticing the irrational behavior that a lot of humans have, sometimes it's very difficult for people who are starting in those positions. But what I'm here to tell you is that you are being put in a position where you realize that their reactions don't have anything to do with you most of the time. You take responsibility where it's your place to take responsibility, but most of the time you didn't do anything wrong. Most of the time you didn't do anything wrong, and it's mostly on them, and that's okay. That's completely fine. And when you stop taking things so personally, which those positions and those types of jobs actually put you in a position where you have to do that because you're dealing with people all the time, then you start experiencing a lot more freedom and emotional mastery, because a lot of people blame their emotions on other people and what other people are doing to them. No one's doing anything to you. They're in their own little world. They're probably not even thinking about you like that. You're the one who's flying off the handle. So I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below how this is helping you and how you're going to be using it this week. And make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single video that we have coming out on this channel. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.